so I'll yield back.
Thank you, sir. The floor now goes to the representative from Illinois.
Thank you.
Ms. Underwood,
Thank
please
you, Mr.
proceed.
Chairman. Good afternoon, Acting Director Lechleitner. Did I say it right? Lechleitner?
That's close. Lechleitner.
Leitner, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
It's so good to see you today.
Good to see
ICE
you.
plays a critical role in enforcing our nation's immigration laws, and the work done at ICE is important and should align with American values as well as our security priorities. ICE's Health Service Corps is tasked with providing direct and indirect health care services to detained non-citizens in ICE custody. This may include anything from the simple, like administration of a flu shot, to the complex, like pregnancy and delivery. As you know, ICE has a legal and moral responsibility to ensure any health services it provides to those in custody meet some baseline standards. And when receiving those services, the patient's national identity, race, gender, social economic status, or ability to communicate in English should never determine whether they receive quality care. So I was concerned to see earlier this year, ICE has failed to meet basic standards when delivering health services. According to a report issued this year by the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General, ICE failed to follow some of its own policies between 2019 and 2021 when authorizing medical surgeries for detained non-citizens. This failure resulted in nearly 1/3 of medical procedures performed on immigrants in ICE custody being improperly authorized. According to the OIG's report, there were at least 2 women given hysterectomies when there was no documentation to support that this surgery was medically necessary. Director Lechleitner. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hysterectomies are irreversible. Once it's done, a woman cannot have children. It's a surgery that shapes her life, and it should not be performed without her consent and proof of medical necessity. I do understand that ICE has accepted the findings of the OIG report, and that's an important start. However, today I'd like to hear more about the specific changes that are being implemented now in order to improve the administration of health services to migrants in ICE custody in response to this report.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Yes, when I became aware of that, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that we're not providing the utmost health care for those that are in our charge and we're responsible for. So, and we as ICE, we're not happy to see that at all from the standpoint of the leadership. So, you know, we concurred with those responses, and we're working diligently to address them. So it is of our, primary effort to make sure those in our charge are treated humanely, and we are efficiently, taking care of their medical situation as appropriately as possible. I must say our health corps is very good, and we're going to ensure that we're in compliance with all the policies and procedures, and moving forward, we're going to ensure this never happens again.
Yes, sir. I don't need to tell you the long and troubled history of forced sterilization in this country, especially on women of color, and hysterectomy should never be performed without fully informed consent. What is ICE doing to explicitly ensure that no woman in custody undergoes a hysterectomy without consent and medical need again? And does the agency have a plan to revisit gaps in its policies specifically concerning reproductive health care?
Yes, we are revisiting all of those, and we're working with the Department of Homeland Security Chief Medical Officer's Office to look at it all and make sure that we do not repeat any of these problems.
Excellent. And the CMO, it's in partnership, or do you, because ICE Health Corps does not report to the CMO's office?
No, it's in partnership.
Okay. What about maternal health care? Can you share an update on the work ICE is doing to keep pregnant women in custody and their babies safe and healthy?
Yes, it's similar. We're making sure that we ensure that mothers and either pregnant or with recent children are provided the utmost health care, and that they're properly taken care of in the conditions that are appropriate for them and the facilities.
In policies and in practice?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I hope that we can continue to stay engaged on this issue and ensure that ICE is treating it as a priority. Many of us who are lucky enough to be born in the United States may never fully understand the journey that some new Americans have taken to get here, and the encounters that immigrants have with ICE shape America's global image and communities across the world in immeasurable ways. We have a responsibility to uphold our values as Americans in every single one. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you, ma'am.
Gentleman from Washington, Mr. Newhouse, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.